Now that was obviously a clickbait and you fell for it. But let's not deviate from our topic and understand what are the 3 different ways of defining a variable in JavaScript. So, JavaScript has 3 different ways of defining or initializing a variable, and they are namely const, var, and let. So we'll talk about each of them one by one and understand how they are different. So let's start by const. Variables declared with the const maintain constant values. That means they cannot be changed at any point in the program. They are constant. Const declarations can only be accessed within the block they were declared. That means if you declared a variable in an if block or a for loop, they can only be accessed inside the if or for loop. You cannot access it outside it. So if you declare a constant variable in a function, you cannot access it in another function. The value of a variable declared with const remains the same within its scope. It cannot be updated or redeclared. For example, if I declared const pi equals to 3.14, then I cannot change the value of pi. And if we try to do that, it will throw an error. Let's talk about var now. Var is an older way of defining variables that can change. It changed after ES6 was launched. Var declarations are globally scoped or function locally scoped. So they can be accessed from anywhere. If you declare a var inside if or for, you can access it outside it. Var variables can be redeclared and also updated. Redeclared and updation are 2 different things. Redeclares means you can completely redeclare it. Previously, let's say if pi was 3.14, now you can also declare it as a string, and you can also update the value of a var. Var is hoisted. Hoisted is a JavaScript mechanism where variables and functions declarations are moved to the top of the scope before code execution. We'll learn more about this in a while. Var variables can be redeclared and updated. This means if I declare a radius var that is 10, at any point in the program I can update it as another value, simply like here. And var variables are hoisted. That means if I try to use the variable before it is being declared or defined or initialized, it will not give an error. Instead, it is same as defining it before it's being used. So it becomes something like this. And this will print undefined. It will not give an error. The next and the latest way of defining a variable is let. Let is somewhat similar to var, but it has the properties of const. So let is block scoped and it cannot be accessed outside of the block it was defined in. Let can be updated but not redeclared. Once a variable is set as an integer, it should be an integer. You cannot redefine it or redeclare it as a string or any other data type. Var is hoisted but let is not hoisted. So this works only with var. When we try to do this with let, it gives an error because you cannot use a let variable before it is declared.